How's it going, YouTube? Vibes here checking in today with something a bit different. I have here behind me a sketch I've been working on the past couple nights, and I figured before I even go in and develop on detail and preparing it for a painting, I thought I'd share how I even got to the step in the first place. So, I've kept in mind questions I've gotten in the past, and pretty much they all pertain to how do you do portraits so well. Obviously, practice, practice, and more practice. But I have certain tips and strategies that I found helpful along my way, so I hope they could help any other artists out there as well. Um, First thing I like to do when approaching a portrait is find the center line of my drawing pad here. And in doing so, I draw a very light line all the way down the paper. And that's about the only guideline that I give myself. Whenever I sketch very, very lightly, but for the purposes of this video, I'll use a darker pencil to fill in lines. And what I've come to understand when drawing a portrait, it's essentially key to have proportion down. It doesn't matter how well you can draw certain features like the eyes, ears, nose, and stuff of that nature, but if you don't place them or align them correctly on the face, or they're too small or too large in respect to other features, it's just going to look off. And it's probably not what you're trying to achieve when drawing another person. So with this line that I set down here, down the center, this is a reference photo that I'm going off of. As I look at this image here, I draw basically an invisible line right down the middle. In doing so, I can see what features run along that line, and it sort of gives me some place to start drawing on my page here. Now, what I like to do, I like to start with the bottom of the chin, because I always determine before I start where I want, or the size of the head to be. So I knew I wanted half the page to be right here, the size of the head. And with this tick mark, basically, although it's a forward profile picture, her head is slightly tilted, so her chin wouldn't fall straight along the page, as you would imagine. So a tip that I found very helpful in aligning certain features is basically to either use a finger or pencil or straight edge like a ruler and angle out the chin on the photo of reference that you're using. And in doing this, you can just bring up your pencil to the page and draw a line very lightly. What this tells you here is the chin falls along this angle. And with respect to that, as you go up and develop on the face, the bottom of the lips will fall along that angle, unless they're puckering or doing something of that nature. Bottom of the nostrils, so on and so forth. So with that, let me fill in the chin that I drew in. Okay. And now that I have a chin, what's next? Well, basically, you can use this chin as a reference point. Using the corner of the chin here, I can move on to other things. Like, let's say I'm trying to find the edge of her lip. With the same reference photo, I start with the reference that I made. Use that chin, align it with the edge of her lip, and with this angle here, bring it up to the page and draw a very light line, letting me know that the edge of the lip falls along that line there. And then you can narrow it down with the other opposite end of the chin, and using that as a reference point, go right across to the same point of the lip that you're trying to find. Bring that up, draw a really light line, and where those lines intersect pretty much lets you know that the corner of the lip is right there. And with that same strategy, you can go on to find the opposite end, and let's do that. So with that chin, find that angle, and then move right up somewhere on this line. And the opposite end of the chin, use that to go up. That pretty much indicates that the other end of the lip starts right over here. So you can go on and continue using the same strategy pretty much for the whole entire face. That's what I do. And it's pretty lengthy. It takes a while, especially if it's your first time trying something like this. But the more you draw, the more you come along, you can sort of draw certain features without needing to do that, using that reference. It becomes sort of like, second nature, which is obvious. The more you do things, you build an adaptability to it. And you don't always have to keep going back, placing these angles. You can sort of see it as you go along. So let's do that again, just to get other points. Using the corner of this lip now, I can even move up and try to find the end of her nostril here. So going there, I know it's somewhere on this line. And using the opposite end of her lip, I can corner that in to find that same spot. It's like that sharp angle right there. So as I draw that in, basically the edge of her nose is right over here. Yeah, that looks right. And try to see, can these lines show up? They do. I guess the more I go into it, they'll show up even more. Normally when I'm sketching, it's very, very, very light, so I can erase any mistakes that seem off. Alright, so I guess as I continue to draw in this image, I thought I'd talk about a topic that I think helped me a lot during my free-forming journey. And what it is basically a question to you guys, and that is, do you question yourself? Normally that's what we do because it's part of developing as a human being. We question ourselves time to time. But do you really contemplate on what you ask yourself? And the topic may vary. You can reach a broad amount of topics just by talking to yourself. And certain questions like, am I satisfied where I am now? Am I doing the things that I thought I'd be doing this point in time? Stuff of that nature. And the point of asking yourself these questions, is to, I guess, see if you have an answer. And if you have an answer, or if you don't have an answer, do you have a solution? So, is this what I thought I'd be doing now? And if not, am I taking the steps to improve on my future or to reach that goal? Because very often, as you're young, you set many goals for yourself and you have dreams and aspirations. But it seems like we sort of stray off of that path at some point. Not everybody achieves their goal and not everybody continues to go after it. And why is that? Have we sort of reached a point where we've come to terms with what everything is and, in a sense, given up on them? I ask myself that plenty of times, especially during the past couple of years, where everything I was doing just didn't feel right. And this is kind of weird. I've never really talked out loud as I'm drawing. This is new to me, so bear with me. So yeah, on that question, let's see. Do you reach a point where you ask yourself, have I given up? As if saying, life is what it is, and there is nothing I can do to change or improve on it. No, I don't believe in that answer right there. To some sort of sense, you've reached, I'd say, a point of, a stage of despair. Where you sort of lost hope for whatever reason. And I do understand that, with every individual on this planet, we all have different circumstances. We don't all walk the same exact path. Certain things like unfortunate events may occur and things like that. I do understand that, but these things that come up, unfortunate events or whatever they may be, those are just obstacles which all of us as humans come across. Do you challenge these obstacles? Do you face them? Do you even look for a way to overcome them? These are the questions that I always ask myself, and with the question of despair, I would say, where you thought you've lost hope, it doesn't have to end there. You know, the next question you should really ask yourself is, why? You know, why is it this, or why is it that? Really, why is what sets human beings apart from most other animals on this planet and has made us the incredible beings that we are today, because we question why on everything. You know, we can take a page from the books of children where when they're first experiencing something different or something new, we sort of accepted it as them being annoying because they're always asking, but why, but why, but why? And that's a really good question to ask. When you challenge yourself and ask why, you essentially open your mind, or you open your eyes to new possibilities. You know, like, why can't I do something, or why not try something completely different? And it doesn't need to be complete as a whole. It could be partial or just attempting. You know, why not attempt to do something differently? Why not well, in my case, I wanted to cut out eating fast food, so I asked myself, why not just try and stop eating fast food for a period of time? And eventually, when you're asking yourself why, you sort of set short-term goals for yourself. And in doing so, they may become long-term. And when you come to reflect on that, and let's say whatever small goal you set for yourself, be it stop eating fast food or stop shopping so much or anything else, when you've accomplished that, there's a real great sense of fulfillment. And believe me, you're going to want more of that. So you end up setting even more goals for yourself. And then somewhere down the line, you find that drive, that passion to chase what you initially wanted. And that's where it led me today. So I believe asking yourself, questioning why, is really important. You know, talking to yourself time to time, it never hurts. Alright. Let's see. Trying to see if I can get enough key features in while trying to keep this video short. I don't want it to drag on too long. Just so you can sort of see how I get the base or the initial start on this. At the end of this, you know, I'll bring the camera over so you can see details and closer of how it's done. Alright, so let me see where we're at. I think I'll cut it over here. I don't think there's anything else I want to add today. So, let me just give you, didn't really show as well as I thought it would. Still need a better camera setup, so let me just bring you in a little bit closer just so you can see the lines and details of how things are. It's basically that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to work on this a lot more. There's a lot more ideas I want to implement on this. So, oh, and before I forget, let me give a very, very big thank you out to all the new subscribers that I've seen. I think I went up another 5, and honestly, thank you so much for your support. And I hope you guys come to enjoy what I have to deliver. I do have a lot. I do have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of different topics to bring you guys, and other wonderful content. So, until then, everyone have a great day.